Welcome back. Your dreams were your ticket out. Welcome back to that same old place that you laughed about. Well, the names have all changed since you hung around, but those dreams have remained and they've turned around. Who'd have thought they'd lead you? Who'd have thought they'd lead you?
What's going on, y'all? Welcome back. Give it a stretch. Okay. Oh, that's good. Oh, that's good. All right, welcome back. Hopefully that last work session was a productive one for you. I got some stuff done. Then I went to go get a snack, and then I realized, oh, it's time to come back. So bars. All right, I wanted to talk about. So I'm going to go through a story here. I'm going to go to progression, and let me share my screen because it's going to lead into what I've been working on, and I kind of want to. I'm kind of excited about it. It's pretty dope, like where we've come, how we come so far. All right, so this is my website. Now, this website, let me see. So this is lifelong.dev. Let me add this to the list of links. Lifelong.dev. All right. So now, one of the cool things that I always liked about like apps or, like mobile apps, like native apps, was that when you clicked on something, like it would kind of like morph, you know what I mean? Like it would like transition to like a whole nother page, like smooth, right? And so I wanted to create for my personal site, I wanted something similar. So for example, let's look at portfolio, because I don't remember when I made this site. It has to be a good like few years. So let's say I click portfolio. And so you kind of see like how my little character here got their headphones, like it switched to headphones and things, right? I made this site. Let me see something on some other random product. I got to update this website because the latest project was this one, and that was like in 2020. So this site I made, this is here, 2018, the winter of 2018, right? And what I wanted to be able to do with it is kind of show that. So all this is just vanilla JavaScript. So you can see you can see it on the mobile, and you see how it transitions back, right? This is my radio show player, so it loads the latest player, and so then you see now I have like the headphones and the microphone here, right? Whenever I'm doing like events, you see you get the little name tag here, and like I don't know of any events coming up, so that's why this is blank here. Let's see. This is like my t-shirt shop. So you see like the little t-shirt shows up. All right. All that to say that this is some different presentations, which I need to update as well. So all this is done with basically like JavaScript and like web components that I made, right? And this is my latest blog. All right. So a bunch of stuff. So you can see it kind of changes. Now, like I said, all this was done with just JavaScript, and it's a single page app basically, right? But then I heard about this coolness, the View Transitions API, which allows you, so they have a video here. So you can kind of see it's kind of almost sort of what I was doing, but a lot more elegant. You know what I mean? Mine was I kind of like mine janky because it was bouncing around. I kind of like that. But this one's a little bit smoother and, kind of cool, right? Still, the way I did mine was so wild. So again, that was in 2018. And this started happening, when is this article? Come on. But he goes through a whole lot of stuff. It's pretty dope. It's a really good article. Hold on, give me a second. When is this article written? It's a very long article. All right, so 2021, right? So my actual website is like 3 years before this. And I've been kind of like waiting for this, right? And so it gave me all sorts of ideas like, oh, I could do something pretty dope. Oh, by the way, let me add a link to this. So you can check it out. It'll be next to the recorded video with everything else that I mentioned. Cool. So then, but the thing is, you can see here, the browser support for it is not that great, right? And so also here from Mozilla Developer Network, which I'm going to add a link to this one's another really good resource, right? Which I'm not even sharing. So this is the Mozilla Developer Network one. So you can kind of see again, in Chromium-based browsers, we're good to go, but Firefox and Safari, not so much. Limited availability, like it says. All right. And it says here, experimental technology. So yeah, cool. But still, I want to kind of build with it because I was like, well, I wanted to kind of get started on it so that I could then, once it's ready, be good to go, right? So then I created this project here. Let me share this. So this is a photo gallery thing I made, right? And I got to reconnect to the project again. And so you see it loads. I always wanted to build something with this like grid where it kind of like turns like it loads in. I'm not even sharing the screen. Am I sharing the screen? Yeah, I think I'm sure. Yeah, okay, I am sharing this one. My bad, I had to catch up. So I always wanted to have something where these grids and the photos, like the elements load in, like in like almost like a spiral kind of thing, right? And so let me make sure. I don't think the recording didn't catch it. So let me refresh this again. And hopefully it will show up. Not sure if it's okay. Here we go. So yeah, so I always wanted to be able to have it kind of like fade in like that, right? And then with the view transitions, I was able to do so. Let's say right here, right? You saw how that got bigger and like it transitioned from the little box to the full page, right? And I'm able to kind of go through the other pictures and they get bigger as it goes to this size, right? And then what's cool what's kind of like a lot to try to figure out when I go back now, you see that picture loads up here. And so then these are some new pictures. So I'm able to kind of like scroll through the pictures, right? And so let's say I want to go this one with the Aurora Borealis, right? Click that becomes bigger. But when I go back now, it goes back to this first slot. And so there's a whole bunch of code and stuff to get that to work. Where's my, what do I do with it here? So this I did with kind of similar to what was in those other articles I just showed, right? And so I have all these different random JavaScript stuff, right? And this is in an Astro application, like the framework I'm using that I've been using is Astro. So I was like, let me see if I can get this working in Astro. And so I was able to get it to work in Astro. But then when I tried to actually do it in a real project, for whatever reason, it didn't work, right? And so I basically had to just get the project done. But I'm going to go back to it again, right? So here's the project. It's just like a photo gallery that I kind of created, right? And if I refresh this, you see it has the same loading, right? And now the thing is, though, when I click one, it doesn't do the animation that I wanted. But now I think I can do it. So I'm going to revisit this project soon because Astro, in one of the latest versions, I don't remember what version, because I think the one I'm using now is like Astro 2 for that site, but they introduced view transitions, right? And so instead of me having to do all that wild code that I did for the other version, they have it kind of built in now, which is pretty dope. And so I've been working on another project where I wanted to try to play around with the view transitions. So I'm starting fresh with like a whole brand new thing. And what I have looks like this. So it's so you go to the page, right? So I built on top of like their basic one, because that's what I like about working with like online editors. So like with StackBlitz, I can just click a link on astro.new. It opens up in StackBlitz. I can start coding on it, right? That one feature that I want. Then if I want to work on another feature, and I don't want to like get the two cross mingled or whatever, I can just open up another one and start working on that, right? And so there's like three main parts that I want to work for this next project. But right now, this is the view transitions, right? I'll probably talk about the other stuff later. But as far as view transitions, so this, like the site loads up, right? And you have a couple of ways to navigate around. And so this is similar to my home page, my website, my own personal website. To when you click somewhere, okay, I'm gonna have to connect to the project again. Okay, so that was underwhelming. But you see this changed here. Let me go back, and you see it faded, and then this moved to the top. Now another way, so let me show that again because it got jacked up. So I want to go to page 2. I know this is kind of hard to see, but I want to go to page 2. I click here. You see it changed, kind of similar to how my website works, right? But this is using view transitions that's built into actual Astro right now. So another way you can navigate will be to be able to drop down. Choose this drop down. Cool. And you see it works there as well. Now, making that work was kind of like an issue because let me pull up the code. This one. Let me see. Get this here. This one. Share this tab. So here's the code, right? And what's cool is that drop down, the select, normally what I would do is if I wanted to go to a new page, I would listen for the change event and just go to like a location.href with the URL, right? And so that way it would change. But the way Astro works with the view transitions is that, I think they talk about it here. Let me share this. So the way it works is that they kind of like hijack the links, right? They talk about it. Where do they talk about it? In transition, where is it? I think it's this one. So yeah, so the way it works is that they take pretty much all the different A links and any like form stuff, and they kind of make it to where if you click an A link, href or whatever, A link, instead of actually going to the page, right? It's almost like a single page app where it will change the URL in the bar, but it's transitioning from the two different states, from the two different pages with JavaScript, right? And so they're kind of like hijacking the clicks, right? And so, but the thing was, it wasn't working when I would set like the location.href. So it's not listening for that. But you can trigger that navigation, the Astro navigation, by using this thing called Navigate that they have, right? And so you get Navigate from their client on the transitions, Astro transitions. And then so they use like also another select, right? But for me, this didn't really work because this script tag is set, it's only ran once. So it's like compiled into your code when you build it and ship it off, right? And so for me, I was getting an error where, let me show you in the code. All right, so what happened was when I would do something similar in the code, so I would have like a script tag and I would put it in there, but it would only fire once. Like if I went back to the original page and try to select another one, it wouldn't work because it already ran basically, you know what I'm saying? So it didn't change. So what I had to do was do a script is inline. So that loads with the page. And so anytime I go to that page, it will then fire off because it'll find the select element, get a reference, and then listen for a change event on it. But even then, like I would have that in there and I would get an error because when I go back to the original page from that, the view and everything would work, but going back, I would get an error saying that, hey, that select ref has already been created, like it's already there. And so it wouldn't let me do another document.query selector on it. So luckily, what happened is that, let me go back to here now. So what they have here, which is pretty dope. Let me see. They kind of talk about it here. Okay, so yeah. So a visitor to your site triggers navigation by any of the following actions. So clicking the A tag, which I said they before, right? And then clicking the back button or forward button. All right, now let me see. So they have these what you call it? These life cycles that you can kind of like hook into, right? And so, by the way, did I click? Let me add this to list of links. I don't think I added this yet. So what I did was now they have this page load. So to get around that whole, like it's already, what is it? It's already there kind of thing. Like that reference is already there. What I did was, so I have this, I'm listening for the event on the document, the Astro page load, right? And you can see here, so I console log a lot of stuff. And so this is where I'm setting, the query selector, and then I'm listening for the on change event. And then so now this window Astro navigate, right? This is the same navigate. What happens there is that in my layout here, so this is being bundled into my code. And so I'm importing the navigate like we saw before. But what I'm also doing is that on the window object that's going to be available everywhere, even after the site has been bundled and everything, I'm calling it Astro Navigate. So I'm setting that to that. And that's why I can do it here, because I wasn't able, maybe it's something I'm missing, but I was not able to do import the navigate here. I wasn't able to do this if it was inline. And I think that has to do with like bundling and all this other stuff or what have you, right? So to get around that, what I did was I just set it on the window object. I think they mentioned something like that. I don't know if it was exactly what I was doing, but hold on, let me, they mentioned it somewhere. Let me see. I think it was for something for the life cycle. So let me see. It was here. Let me share this tab instead. So, if you have code that sets up a global state in an inline script, this state will need to take into account that the script might execute more than once, which I saw that happen a couple of times. But there's like this tag you can put on the on the life cycle for page load, where it only runs like once. So right here. So I just added that, and that fixed my issue of it like running twice or whatever. But back up to here. So yeah, so it says that check for the global state in your script tag and conditionally execute your code where possible. This works because window is preserved. So like I was saying before, window is everywhere. And so this is, I guess, if you're doing something else, right? But for me, that's not really what I just kind of used the window, I guess, in a different way. So, but yeah, that's all that. So I was able to get it. I think it's pretty dope. So now I'm able to, why does it keep asking me to restart this thing? So yeah, so now you can see here, I'm able to kind of go navigate and have this pretty smooth thing here. So it like goes back. That's smooth. That's pretty cool there. And then I can do here, and it'll also do the transitions. So yeah, all that to say, I got that working. So now I can move on to the other part, which is going to be content collections, which is a new thing that came out since I started messing around with Astro. And so I'm looking forward to doing that. That's the next thing I'm going to do, because I need to load some information. I think content collections are going to be really cool for that. And then the third one is working on like authentication, pretty much. So I want to be able to kind of add that. And because they have this Astro DB thing now, and I want to be able to use that to plug into like authentication. So little by little. And like I said, what's cool with Stack Blitz is that I can spin up those separate like projects that I want to combine at some point together, and I can spin them up in separate ones and work on them individually. And then when I'm ready, be able to combine them all by like kind of looking at them, and it'll be a good reference. So that future version of Astro or whatever, then I'll be able to maybe like upgrade them and see how they work, right? So yeah, that's my plan, and yeah, it's working out pretty well. So my next thing is the content collections, which I think I've been reading through the documentations. I think I have a pretty good grasp on it, but you never really know until you actually do it. So that's what I'm gonna be working on next. But I blabbered on more than long enough, so I'm gonna get y'all back to work. And yeah, thanks for hanging out. I'm gonna send you off with some traveling music. This is Nujabez featuring Apani B. The track is called Thank You. Thanks for hanging out. We have one more break session, and we'll take a look at an artist's website. Maybe you'll become a fan. And yeah, good stuff. So again, thanks for hanging out. Nujabez featuring Apani B. Thank you. All right, y'all be easy. And peace.
Let me start from the heart. I just want to stay. I thank you all for showing love to me. I appreciate this unique opportunity. I'm gonna rock so hard you never stop supporting me. I'm gonna show you how music is more meaning to life. I thank you all for showing love to me. I appreciate this unique opportunity. I'm gonna rock so hard you never stop supporting me. I'm gonna show you how music is more meaning to life. But let me start from the heart. I just want to stay. I thank you all for showing love to me. I appreciate this unique opportunity. I'm gonna rock so hard you never stop supporting me. I'm gonna show you how.